Hi ladies and gents, Pond here with another video for Rise of Empires, Ice and Fire. Thank you so much for your previous likes, comments and subscriptions to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, why not click on that button and ring the bell so you can get notifications of whenever I'm dropping videos on the channel, which is daily. And now on to the topic of this video. And today I'm going to be covering everything kind of relating to protecting yourself against debuffs. So it's either, first we're going to look at heroes that actually will remove debuffs before they reach their companion heroes in your squad. And then secondly, we're going to look at the clarity, sober / clear-minded ability, which actually, if that's cast on your heroes, that will prevent them actually receiving the debuff in the first place. That's the idea. So let's have a look at the first section then, which is the remove debuffs ability. So there are 3 heroes in the game that have this ability. First off, we have Skanda. So if we have a quick look at Skanda here, Skanda on his 8th skill has just the one element of removal of debuffs, which is on turn 5, he will remove friendly front row debuffs and when it takes, and that's it. So, and he has this second element where it will allow him to dodge, but we won't cover that in this video. So Skanda is going to impact the one squad, the front row squad on turn 5. That's the only time that he'll remove debuffs. Next up is Rosen. So Rosen has on her 2nd skill Blitz. It's a combat skill, and this has a 30% chance to remove all debuffs of friendly cavalry and archers. So this is where one of the reasons why Rosen does work really well in mixed combinations. But this does exclude debuffs from pre-battle skills. So, for example, if you had Rosen in a battle against Brave, and Brave has his skill 2 is a prep skill, and it has the chance to give the disarming crowd control to opponents' squads. If Rosen activated Blitz during the first 2 turns when those squads are being disarmed, it won't remove the debuff because Brave's prep skill was from pre-battle. So that's just something to consider when you're thinking about this. But we will see in a minute Rosen's Blitz ability in use, and obviously when it is in use it does affect all 3 friendly squads, but it's only a 30% chance, and generally you might see this activate once or twice in a battle max. Often I've only seen it activate once, to be honest with you. And then the 3rd hero that has the ability is Army Breaker. So Army Breaker on his 2nd skill, Formation Rest, has a 55% chance to recover some troops and also remove debuffs again, but it cannot remove pre-battle debuffs. So for me, Army Breaker is the best hero in the game that has this remove debuff ability. 55% chance. It's almost double the amount of chance of Rosen's. Okay, it's only affecting 2 of your friendly squads, not 3, but the frequency of this activating in battles it's way higher. So you're going to see this regularly activate 4, maybe even 5 or 6 times in a battle with such a high percentage chance. And that's why I think Army is the best. So let's have a quick look now at a battle video to kind of see this in action. It's really, I'll be honest with you, it's really hard to identify these removals going on. I had to actually look at a lot of battles to find the specific elements. So in this battle, we've actually got the Beast Queen, Immortal, Rosen combination up against Brave, Skanda, and Spectral Reaper. And what we're going to see on turn 3, I'm just going to speed it up. We're going to see on turn 2, that Immortal will be suppressed by Skanda. And then at the start of turn 3, you're going to see Rosen's Blitz ability remove that suppression. So she'll be removing that debuff. But as I say, it's really, really difficult to actually focus on this. So here's Skanda giving that suppression there. So you can see the icon has gone onto Immortal. And then immediately, Rosen has removed that debuff from Immortal with her Blitz ability. Now, that one thing to think about is that obviously these heroes, whether it's Skanda, Rosen, or Army Breaker, really you want them to be going, obviously you want them to be going first in the turn. And for Rosen, that's fine because she does have, Rosen and Army Breaker do have increased combat speed, so that's usually going to work well. With Skanda, a lot of players put him, you don't have to worry about it because Well, it depends how you want to do it. Obviously, it depends when his prep skill activates for that turn 5. So again, we're going to see actually on turn 5. So you're going to see here, Immortal is going to give Brave a silencing ability from his 5th skill. Skanda has activated his Daybreak skill. And then there is a basic attack from Brave, but his squad wasn't silenced. So even though I don't think the coding is consistent with the way that they implement this, because it hasn't removed the icon like Rosen's Blitz ability did, but Brave's, even though Brave didn't activate a skill, there was only one skill he could have activated, which is his 5th skill, and it's only a 30% chance, so it's quite a low chance anyway. But there was no silencing taking place, so Skanda had removed the debuff from Brave as well. I'm just going to speed up to the end of this video. And we're nearly there. Okay, and now the second part of this video, I want to focus on what I mentioned at the start, which is clarity. Now, there is actually 3 different descriptions for the same thing in the game. So they use the devs use the word clarity, they use the word sober, and they use the words clear-minded, but they all mean the same things. Now, before I want to kind of focus on a couple of heroes first that, even though they don't actually give the full amount of protection, they do deserve an honourable mention. So first off, we have Warden. So Warden is one of the new SX6 heroes that we're going to be able to recruit. Those of us that are in the most advanced seasons of Eden, we're going to be able to recruit them from Monday in a couple of days' time. And Warden actually has on his 5th ability, it's not a full clarity ability, but what he will do is when any squad in our formation is crowd controlled, so silenced, disarmed, suppressed, or confused, he will reduce the damage that squad receives by up to 70%. So he won't stop them being crowd controlled, but he will reduce the damage they receive. So it's not actually clarity, but it's just kind of related to that. Another hero that deserves an honourable mention is Ashen Verdict. So Ashen Verdict has partial clarity on one of his skills, and that is in his 5th ability. If we just bring him up here. I don't have Ashen in my account. Oh, no, it's Warhammer. So with Ashen, here we go. On his 5th skill, it's a combat skill, 35% chance for the hero squad to have 1 additional normal attack each turn, lasting for 2 turns. And when this skill is active, he will be immune to disarm for the duration of the status. So it's just his squad for the 2 turns, and he's just immune to being disarmed. So that is a partial clarity that he has. Then next up, there are actually 4 heroes in the game that do give full clarity to either themselves or fellow squads in their legion. So the first hero I want to talk about is Roku. So Roku is the S3 cavalry hero. Again, I don't have him in my main, unbelievably, but on his 5th skill, during battle, whenever casting a skill that requires prepping, there's a 100% chance to enter the state of clarity, which means he'll be immune to silence, disarm, suppression, and confusion, lasting for 2 turns. So Roku gives himself clarity, but the only skill that requires prep is his 8th skill. So when basically in a battle, when he casts Takeji Zaiten, then he will have clarity for 2 turns. That's it, himself for 2 turns. So Roku protects himself. Basically, the whole idea of the 3 sisters combination is that Warlord is triggering Roku's 7th skill. So Warlord's 8th skill triggers Roku's 8th skill on turns 1, 3, 5, and 7. And then that means that Roku's actually then going to have clarity for the whole of the battle. That's the theory. And then obviously he's using his 8th skill to silence the opponent. The problem you have is that obviously if you're up against, say, the Brave or the Brave Rosen Immortal combo, or the Beast Queen Rosen Immortal combo. That combo has a higher combat speed because of Rosen. They're always going to go first. You can still get suppression from Rosen, and you can get silencing from Immortal, which can actually stop Roku from activating his skills. So because they're impacting on him before he has the chance to even cast his 8th skill, if that makes sense. So that's where a lot of the time Roku can get shut out of a battle. The next hero I want to talk about is Elk. So Elk is the SX1 Archer hero. I do have Elk, but only the one copy of him. And Elk on his 8th skill, it's a prep skill, and for the first 3 turns, he will give 2 random friendly squads a 70% chance to have Sober, which again, it's basically clarity. So it's saying immune to silence, disarm, suppression, and confuse. So I really don't know why they've just used different wording, but it is exactly the same thing. This ability basically gives you 6 opportunities in the first 3 turns to have clarity, or sober as they're calling it, where you would be immune again. But it's only 70% chance, so realistically, you're probably looking at it activating 4 times in those 3 turns on average. So it's okay, it's pretty good, but and obviously it would impact on 2 squads, so that's why I do rate him a little bit higher than Roku. Next up is the SX5 Footman hero Liberator, and Liberator has a really nice ability, which again is worded differently, which is on his 5th skill for freedom. It has 2 elements to it. It's a passive skill, so this will have a chance to activate every time after his troop's basic attack. So normal attacks have an 80% chance to apply troop recovery, block lasting 1 turn. But the second part of it is what we're interested in. There's also a 70% chance to bestow clear-minded to your back row, which will make them immune to silence, disarm, suppression, and confuse statuses. So it is, I don't know why they just don't say to bestow clarity. They're literally using the same, it's the same effect, and they're giving it 3 different names in the game. So it is basically 70% chance. And obviously, if your troops are basic attacking each turn, hopefully they are, then you're giving yourself 8 chances across the battle at 70%, and that's why I rate Liberator higher than Elk. The other thing to think about as well is that this is specifically impacting on your back row, and for those of you that are looking to run mixed legions, Liberator is going to work great with Jade Eagle, for instance, because Liberator can protect Jade Eagle from being silenced and suppressed. So that would be a really good combination, for instance, and I've talked about that before. So there is just one last hero to talk about who has the clarity ability, and she is by far and away the leading hero in the game with this ability. So Avalanche is this SX2 cavalry hero. She is, in my opinion, if she's not the best hero in the game, she's in the top 2 or 3. And she has clarity from her 8th skill. It's a status skill, and basically it is active all the time. So in combat, self-squad gains the clarity status, immune to silence, disarm, suppression, confusion, all the time. So Avalanche it basically means Avalanche cannot be stopped in terms of her skills. So her combat skills on turns 2 and 5, that's what's going to do all the damage, and that's why she's such a consistent hero, because you can't stop her basically. So let's just have a quick look at a video of this in action as well. So we're going to see Avalanche up against the 3 Sisters combo, Warlord, Roku, and Living Saint, where that combination is actually giving some silencing during the battle. So here we've got Army Breaker, Ragnar, and Avalanche, as I say, up against the Warlord, Roku, Living Saint combo. Now, on turn 1, we're going to see Roku activate Takeji's item, but in this instance, Avalanche just doesn't actually trigger any of her skills. She didn't cast any of her skills, which can happen because they are both chance-based combat skills. But then, as we just get through the battle, you're going to see on turns 3, turns 5, and turn 7, when Roku has cast the Takeji's item, which he has now, we're then going to see the Army Breaker Ragnar Living Saint, Army Breaker Ragnar Avalanche combo. Now, here we go. There you go. Avalanche, she should be silenced, but she still she still casts both her skills. So, like I say, you're going to, and then we're going to see it again on turn 5. So there we go. Takeji Zaitan has been activated. So you've got 1 round remaining, and supposedly you've got 1 round remaining on Avalanche as well. I don't know why the game still allocates the icon to Avalanche. You can see though, here we go. So Ragnar's been silenced, Avalanche hasn't. So she does activate Cleave, and she's getting ready to cast Hack and Slash as well. I do think it becomes very confusing to all of us that you have these inconsistencies, both in the terminology used for these abilities and the way that they're implemented actually in the battle videos and the battle mechanics. I think at the end of the day, so there you go, on turn 7 again, you're seeing that Avalanche has been silenced, and you're seeing the other 2 squads being silenced. And then Avalanche gets her skills off. So it's just, for me, I wish they didn't actually show that icon. I think it would be obviously a lot clearer to the rest of us if that was clearly, if it was clearly displayed. Like, if you have clarity, then how is she even getting the skills? How is she even being allocated the silencing effect in the first place? But that's just the way they've coded the battle videos. So there we go. That is everything on removing debuffs, and then the actual clarity abilities in battles. So it's all about, in terms of the removing debuffs, it is allowing the other allowing yourself and the other heroes in your squads to actually be able to use all of their abilities. And then with the clarity ability, it's just protecting you in the first place from suffering from silence, disarm, suppression, and confusion. And like I say, Avalanche is by far the best hero at having clarity. So I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, please do click on that like. And if you have any comments or questions, then please do pop them in the comment section below. I have to say, it took me a lot of researching a lot of different battle videos to just kind of confirm the different elements that I've talked about here. So like, again, with removing the debuffs as well, you know, that does include things like other heroes' skills, which would reduce your might or reduce your resistance, or stop or troop recovery block, for instance. It removes all of those kind of elements as well. So any kind of debuff that has been activated during a battle from another hero's combat abilities, combat skills, then that is what that removing debuff ability does. So I hope I've made that clear. But again, if you have any questions, please do pop them down below. And that's it for now. If you could please share this video and my channel in your alliance chat, province chat, and through Line, WhatsApp, Viber, Discord, whatever you use to communicate with your fellow players in the game, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.